I appreciate that you're here, and I appreciate your patience. We know Hamiltonians are looking for and deserve information coming out of yesterday's very important conversation at our General Issues Committee. Shortly, but we want to recoup and rebuild stronger. The report outlines the progress that we're making in that recovery and rebuild, and I want to take this time now, very importantly, to say how much I appreciate our city staff. They are so dedicated. They have been working tirelessly to restore our services. Many city staff continue to work 7 days a week, and the long hours they're putting in is pretty significant, and that's hard on them, and it's hard on their families. It hasn't been easy on anybody, nor has it been easy on Hamiltonians. So I am very, very grateful. I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's committee meeting and the information that was shared around the cost that the city has incurred thus far of $5 million related to the immediate response to the cybersecurity attack. This $5.7 million includes efforts to recover and restore our systems and third-party expert support in our response. It's a heck of a lot of money, $5.7 million. I get that, particularly at a time when we're all feeling the pinch. But the expenditure systems, IT applications, and our services, the city has an opportunity to transform our technology and cybersecurity to better support residents and businesses and better protect us for years to come. And that ain't cheap either. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The past number of months have been challenging for many in our community, residents, businesses, and our 8,000 plus strong workforce. I recognize the difficulties that this situation continues to create and the frustration that it's caused. I want to assure Hamiltonians that I understand the inconvenience folks are dealing with. And I sincerely thank everyone, again, for their continued patience and understanding. City staff during the 5th month of the city's efforts to respond to the cyber attack. And I want to say very clearly, it's far from over. So the reality is, even though our staff continue to work around the clock, the rebuild and full recovery will take some time. Just imagine for a minute if your home was completely destroyed, and how long and how hard, costly and disruptive it will be to rebuild completely. Our city has been built up over 178 years. It's a complex, large organization, heavily reliant on technology. Meanwhile, we know that bad guys are still out there. Every day. Frankly, there aren't many days that pass anymore where you don't hear news of a new criminal cyber attack that's happening to a business or a public organization. It's happening every day now. Hamiltonians expect and deserve nothing less than the city leaving no stone unturned as we work hard to restore our systems. The city will advance and fast-track the replacement or upgrade of select IT applications and initiate improvements over the coming weeks and months. This will help strengthen and protect us into the future. We're implementing the necessary upgrades that will better support residents and businesses. These upgrades will keep the city current and well positioned to provide a continuous level of high quality customer service. I continue to be standing, as well as the hard work and support of city staff as we continue to navigate through this together. I want to guarantee you, we will come out of it stronger. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, Marnie Clucky, who has a few words to say, and then we'll take any questions that folks might have. Again, really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Mayor. And thank you for yours and Council's continued leadership through this challenging time for residents, community partners, and city staff. Good afternoon, everyone. Since February 25th, 2024, when the cybersecurity incident was first identified, our focus has been responding in a safe and secure manner as efficiently as possible. And as you know, soon after the onset, the city contained the ransom. The city has experienced a high level of operational impact due to the cyber incident, with most of its IT applications and IT systems affected by this attack. And throughout our ongoing response, the city has delivered the majority of core programs and services to the community, with more coming back online regularly, and when it is safe and secure to do so. Importantly, we have been able to restore many of the city's critical applications that serve the public, with a priority placed on health and safety. 45% have been restored to date. And some examples include the general inquiry email is working again, internet access is restored, and there's a temporary vendor payment and are making decisions based on best meeting the needs of our citizens, our businesses, and staff. Now, cyber attack is similar to other crises like floods, fires, or massive water main breaks because it disrupts normal operations, it causes damage, and it incurs significant costs. It also requires a swift and organized response. However, unlike natural disasters, a cyber attack is an intentional act by criminals who seek to steal information, disrupt services, or cause damage for their own gain. And these criminals are sophisticated, and they continuously improve. We need to do the same as we rebuild. Yesterday's report, highlighting where we're at now and identifying the next steps, was an important step in our journey. A journey that is seeing us collectively move forward with a focus on resilience to protect against future cyber attacks and taking a customer-centric approach to improve our services as we rebuild. With our progress, the recovery team has also determined that a small number of our IT applications are regrettably unrecoverable. Of the roughly 200 IT applications managed by the city, 3% of the applications are not recoverable. And for those, mitigation strategies have been put in place. We are minimizing service disruptions by using manual processes as well as alternative technologies where they're needed. And our team of experts is continuing to work very diligently to progress through the next steps and identify the most effective solutions. As the mayor touched on, this is a large-scale effort to build back stronger than ever, and there is still a long road ahead. But we sincerely appreciate everyone's patience and understanding and convenience. So thank you for being here. I'll now turn it over to the moderator to facilitate questions.
So much, Mayor Horvath and City Manager Cookie. Also joining them today, we have Mike McGarrick, General Manager of Finance and Corporate Services, Cyrus Trinity, Chief Information Officer, and Paul Tackala, Chief Librarian and CEO of Hamilton Public Library, available to answer your questions. We have members of the media both in person and virtually joining us, so we'll go for one question and one follow-up. In order, I'm going to turn it over first to Matt Van Dongen at the Hamilton Spectator. Matt, please go ahead.
Thanks, folks, for having us.
At a future point when we have more information available for you.
Sorry, so just to be clear, so we haven't made a decision as whether we would be able to file a claim to cover some of those costs?
So we would submit a claim, and then the insurer would review that claim and advise us.
And are there any costs not covered by the report that we've seen publicly?
Those are the costs up to May 28th, 2024, and we will commit to reporting on a regular basis, so costs are known as we progress.
Thank you so much. Adam Atkinson from CHCH.
Are not known to date. As we progress, we will report on that information. We know that there will be some significant costs associated with rebuilding stronger to protect and fortify our defenses, as well as replace some of the unrecoverables. So we will continue to report in on that.
I'm sorry, the second half of that question is what were they asking for in the first place?
As for the ask from the cyber criminals, that's information that will be shared at a future date, but we want to protect sensitive information at this particular moment in time.
Okay. Can you touch on again how many city programs are up and running again, how many aren't, like what percentage, and then how much longer will it take to get everything up and running?
Okay, I'll start and then I'll turn it over to our Chief 28, they are up and running again, and then there are 60% of the critical applications that we have that are up and running. As for the length of time, it's a very complex system. I mean, the city is large, many servers, many systems in place, where we have over 500,000 residents, so we know that it will be months, not weeks, and we know that some of the key critical ones that are larger and have to be rebuilt will take longer than that. Cyrus, do you want to add to that?
I don't have anything to add to that. I think you've covered it quite well.
Can I see? I mean, one of the things that that is true is that there are lots of pieces that that we have to deal with, and some of those pieces, in terms of restoration and recovery or replacement, some of those pieces will be done, you know, in the next couple of months. Other pieces may take
Thank you so much. We now have a question from a virtual participant, Samantha Beatty from CBC Hamilton. I'm just going to enable the mic.
Yes, hello. What lessons do you have for other cities to prevent a ransomware attack from happening to them? What advice do you have, or what lessons have you learned?
Well, I mean, we're not through it yet, Samantha. Thank you for the question. We're not through it yet. So we're continuing to learn lessons, frankly, as we go through. But one of the things that that I think is clear is that, you know, we're one municipality out of 400 across the province and with the provincial government, frankly, is to provide some of those learnings. And as I said, right now we're in the throes of continuing to respond. The response is not over yet, but we certainly have a commitment to making sure that anything that we've learned and any advice that we have to give can be provided. And I've also talked to the Premier about that as well, and letting him know, offering up the fact that we're still a work in progress for certain, but that we are willing to to partner with the province to provide information that might help them and help other municipalities to fortify and strengthen you do. I see the nods in the background.
Oh, okay. What is the status of city staff getting their pay or being able to access payroll information and pay stubs, et cetera, on, I guess, like their HR portal? We've heard that city staff in the long-term care homes, for example, are still having issues. So what's the latest with that?
I really appreciate the question. I'm going to turn it over to the city manager, but I want to say it was really hard on people. It still is hard on people, and I acknowledge and recognize that and feel very, very badly about it. I think there's some good news, and I'm going to hand it over to the city manager for that. Thank you.
Corporate services, but just reiterate what the mayor has said, that this has been so difficult in so many ways, and we appreciate all that our staff have done. We know that the financial system was impacted significantly, and so we had to rebuild the system after beginning to pay manually, and so that has taken some time, and it's regrettable, and we are very apologetic for that. But I'm grateful that the system is now up and running, and GM Zagaric will give details of how they manage that.